How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about GGPI, which was up almost 12% on the day. I usually don't do GGPI videos back to back, but I'm doing this because I remember what I told you guys yesterday. I said if this stock is trading below $10, there's a good chance that it's going to move up the next day. I even told you guys I already sold my initial investment and I had the rest of my shares waiting for the next run up going into tomorrow because I know that it will start trading back above $10. And look what happened today. Again, this is not surprising. This is something that happens continuously when it comes to SPACs. I hope you guys were able to actually take some money, protect some profit. Make sure you protect that initial investment. That's what we focus on. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it.
This is for GGPI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $10.84, being up 11.87%. On the low, it tested $9.69, and then on the high, testing $11. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 7.479 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 5.763 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 59.10. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, but we are above the 50-day and as well as the 21-day EMA. So like I was saying in yesterday's video, if we have price action below $10 and it's close to the business combination, it will climb back up. And that's exactly what it did today. We saw that high right at $11. No surprise that there's resistance here because we know $11 has been a psychological area for this play. But one thing we want to also pay attention to is that we're seeing a lot of buyers stepping in, as you can see from the above average volume. So will this continue going into tomorrow? It most definitely can be the case. But overall, if it ends up having a pullback, you want to see some support at the 50-day around 10.57. And if it breaks through 10.57, that's where you're going to want to see some support holding right here at $10.09. Now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for GGPI. So the off exchange short volume ratio is at 49.29%. And then for the off exchange short volume, it is just over 2.99 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated just now. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 4.87%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 17th, it was at 55.99. And then for the close of the 21st, being at 49.29. So a little decrease right there. But when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at just around 10%, that is right. We continue to have that above average volume coming into the play. It will continue to make moves to the upside. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for GGPI. So we see on the inflows at 16.01 million, then on the outflows at 15.18 million. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 5.37 million, on the medium it was 7.10 million, and then on the small it was 3.54 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 5.05 million, on the medium it was 6.57 million, and then on the small it was 3.56 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for June the 22nd we had that inflow of 0.32 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, you can see that we had more selling than we had buying, but it was still fairly close. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then for the large, it represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 7.53%. So this is up there for a stock like GGPI, but it has been seeing a good amount of volatility recently. We've seen it pull all the way back into the $8 range, jump back going into 10 and as well as 411, and then we see it pull all the way back below under $10 and then making move back above $10 for today, almost getting just above $11. So again, very volatile. Let's move on to the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details. So for my final thoughts for GGPI, that's going to be bringing Polestar public under the ticker symbol of PSNY. Yes, we have the approval for the merger, but as far as for the price action is concerned, we ended up seeing a high of $11 and then we saw a low of $9.69. If you remember what I said in my previous video yesterday, it was trading below $10, but it was going to rise back up. That's part of the reasons why I sold my initial position on the pop, and then I said, you know what, there's no point selling under $10 when this stock is going to get back above it, because I'm very curious to see what happens when this combination goes through, and that means a change in the ticker symbol. And the main reason behind that, there is a chance we could have a strong sell-off, but there also is a chance we could have a strong run-up. Like I said, I'm looking at this play just like Lucid, and there's a potential chance it could do exactly the same thing. So that's why I have a game plan prepared. I let everyone know about this inside of the Discord. I also had some screenshots in the previous video to let you guys know this as well. But if you haven't taken out your initial investment and you are an investor, by all means, I'm wishing you guys the best of luck, and I want to see you getting a big return on your investment. I do not want to be telling you guys, well, you know what, it's time to sell. I can't give you guys financial advice, but I do see that there could be some upside in this play, especially if we have a lot of buyers that come in after this merger is completed. Also, for my traders out there, if this stock does decide to pull back and you're thinking about taking advantage of that pullback, the 21-day EMA is around $10.09. So you want price action to stay above this level. If it breaks through, then of course it will go back into the $9 range, and depending how much selling pressure that we have, you can see it start trading at $8. But again, that is the worst case scenario here, so make sure that you have a game plan for it. Also, we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information. We have a lot of shorts who are vested in this play, and it's part of the reasons when it sees above average volume, you could see it taking off very quickly. Take a look at all of those days when there's above average volume and we have buying pressure. We end up having strong moves in price action. We're having a continuation of this. So you want to look out for this going into tomorrow, especially since when we took a look at the order flow, we do have retail that is selling and we do have some buying that is going on. So we really don't have a clear indication of what potentially could happen. But we have to make sure that we pay attention to those levels that I've given you. If this stock is able to actually break above $11.50 upon having that business combination and knowing that, you know what, the ticker symbol has changed, everything is good to go, then this stock could really make a strong move going to $12 and even to $13. But if it doesn't do that, that's where I could see it having a sell-off. And that's just what I want to communicate with you guys in my personal opinion. I'm not going to be naive. I'm going to be completely neutral about this play. I also told you guys, even if you decide to buy this stock while it's trading under $10, you can also call up your broker and tell them, hey, you know what? I want to sell my shares. But you have to make sure that you do this before the business combination. But I'm going to assume you said, well, you know what? Dre said that the price was going to move up the next day. And that's exactly what happened. So if you haven't taken profits already, then hey, I don't know what you're doing, and I'm hoping that you were able to actually move up your stops and have some sort of a game plan to protect your initial investment. I just hate hearing those stories when I hear about, you know what, man, the trade was green and then it turned red on me. You don't need that happening to you. We are in a bear market. Protect your money. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.